All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Monday, March 25th, 2019, and we just finished with a very exciting Week 7 in the AAF, which we had the very first overtime game between the Iron and the Express. That game also had Johnny Manziel's very anticipated debut. He didn't really play much, but he got a couple games or a couple plays in, ran the ball a little bit, made a couple good throws, a couple balls got dropped. Such is the nature of an amateur football league like the AAF, but it was still exciting. We had the very first overtime game again. That was very cool, in which the Express actually upset the Iron, kind of saving their season, kind of putting the Iron season in hot water at 4-3. What do we think is going to happen next? I don't know. We got some Week 8 AAF picks to go over, so let's hop into our Week 8 AAF Pick'em video and go over to the Saturday games, which will be on the 30th of March, 2019. The location for this first one will be at Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium in Memphis, Tennessee, at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Bleacher Report Live. I will be live reacting / streaming this game, so you can actually subscribe, tune into that stream, and I will be, I'll be in the bottom right corner. The game will be behind me. It'll be a fun time. We'll be talking about the Orlando Apollos traveling to the Memphis Express to play, to Tennessee to play the Express. We have the Express hosting the Apollos. I don't know which way is the proper way to say it. This is going to be interesting. The best team in the league versus one of the, bottom three, shits of the league. The Apollos, who have clinched a playoff berth, they're already in the playoffs. They have not really much to worry about going forward, other than maybe just getting the best record over, say, the Commanders, or maybe the Hot Shots if something were to happen. So this game is interesting to me because we're not sure how much Manziel is going to play, how well Silvers is going to play, what's going to be happening with the Express. But we do know after that overtime win against one of the better teams in the league, which is the Iron, a team that destroyed them in their first meeting. I seen a lot from the Express. I seen that they can win. They're trying to win to save their season. They know this game and every game going forward is an absolute must-win. And the fact that they knew that game against the Iron was a must-win to save their season, I think that showed me something. They can play against the better teams in the league, the best teams in the league. They played the Apollos very close in their first time playing them. It was 21-17 before the Express had any kind of identity. It was the game that won me over as a fan of the team. And there's something about them. They play very well when the stage is on them very, very, very bright. And last night it was very bright. A lot of people were watching because of the Manziel situation. They're handling that beautifully, honestly. Silvers is doing all right. He played very well and led them to a very good victory over a very good Iron defense. And I think the Apollos aren't going to be coming into this game with that, we're just going to come in and dominate. They're going to be playing, maybe resting a little bit on their laurels, maybe taking this game a little less seriously than they would because of the fact they're in the playoffs. This means nothing to them long term. Why risk playing against the worst team in the East? Why risk getting hurt or just fucking up in some way against the worst team in the conference? It's not worth it. It's not worth anyone's time. I think the Apollos play a little bit reserved, if that's the best way to look at it. They're going to be a little... You know what happens when really good teams clinch. They seem to lose a couple games because they rest. They don't take it as seriously, especially when they play a team with a 2-5 record. For those reasons, I think the Express pull off a huge upset over the Apollos. I think they win 28-24, kind of on a game-winning situation. But yeah, I think the Express upset the Apollos. Express have more on the line. They played well in their last game when their season was on the line against the Iron. So it proved that they can play when the light is very bright, when the situation's really big. They almost beat the Apollos 21-17 when they didn't have this identity. They didn't have a quarterback when they played the Apollos last. And I just feel like the Apollos are going to be kind of lazy. So I like the Express in this game, 28-24. This is my upset pick of the weekend. And I feel very confident, actually, in this pick. I feel less confident about a different one, not this one. But the second game on Saturday, which will be at it'll be in Salt Lake City, Utah at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the NFL Network, and it'll feature the Salt Lake Stallions hosting the San Diego Fleet in a pretty boring game, which really has, I think, no greater playoff implications. I think these are the two bottom dwellers of the West, and they've proven it time and time again. Both teams are coming off losses to quality opponents in which the offenses both struggled to get something going. Both teams only got to 15. A little bit shocking coming from the Fleet, seeing that's the second time all season they've been held under 20 points. The Stallions, they just only score about that many, which is 15, so they looked pretty normal, but that's the problem with the Stallions is their team is very inconsistent. From play to play, they just can't seem to find any consistency. They'll look really good on one play, then the next they throw like a pick or fumble it, or they just look completely terrible. And that's kind of the curse of the Stallions. They look good, then they look horrible, then they look good, then they look horrible. It's there's no form of consistency with the team. With the Fleet, they consistently have a good offense, but sometimes their defense betrays them. For those reasons, I like the Fleet to win this game 28-20. Basically, they'll score at least, their typical 20 to 30 points in this game. I think their defense will respond after a pretty harsh loss to the Hot Shots. I think the Hot Shots beat them like 32-17. So they'll come into this game a little bit more prepared for a very, very less potent offense in the Stallions, and I think their defense will kind of overpower the Stallions based on who they played last. Stallions just, like I said, very inconsistent play-to-play on both sides of the ball. Their defense is somewhat better, but it doesn't mean anything when the offense is literally play-to-play bad. It's just not good. The Fleet have a good offense that is a little inconsistent, but they score at least 20 a game. So for that reason, I like the Fleet to win this one 28-20. Should be pretty straightforward. Should be an easy win too, 28-20. Let's go to the Sunday games, 3/31/2019, and the first game will be the location will be Legion Field in Atlanta, Georgia. It'll be at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the CBS Sports Network, as the Atlanta Legends will host the Birmingham Iron in what will be a season ender for the Atlanta Legends. They'll be the second team to have all playoff implications dashed. The other team this week will be the Stallions, who will fall to 2-6. The Legends after this game will also fall to 2-6. The Iron are coming off a pretty devastating loss in which a win could have secured closer to the playoff berth. I think they would have been like, they win last week, they win this week, they're in the playoffs. So that's kind of a tough loss to deal with for the Iron. And now all of a sudden they have to deal with the Legends and the Express if they lose this game, breathing down their necks at 4-5 or 3-5, 3-5, 4-4. That's not good, because then you lose again, you're 4-5, they win again, they're 4-5, all of a sudden your playoff berth goes up in the air. Desperation mode activated for the Iron. The Legends are just not a very good team. They just have nothing to wow you. They're a very poor defense. They're a very, very poor offense. Their offense is either very, very bad one day or very, very good. And if they're very bad, which I suspect they're going to be, much like they were last week, we're probably going to have a 25-15 game in which the Iron just kind of dominate them from start to finish. I see that coming after. They're going to be in desperation mode. They're going to be in win now mode, the Iron are. So expect them to go to 5-3, eliminate the Legends from playoff contention. And yeah, that seems pretty easy and straightforward. This doesn't seem like a very game that I have to go into much depth, other than the fact that the Iron needed to win last week, but they weren't able to. In desperation mode now, because a loss moves them way too close for comfort to these bottom-dwelling teams. So watch the Legend lose bad, Iron win big, 25-15 Iron win. And the last game of the week, which is actually going to be the best game of the week, and it was the hardest game to pick really when I broke it down. This game will be at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the NFL Network. I will be live reacting to this game as well, at least the first half, maybe a bit of the second. We'll see. On Sunday nights, I don't really like to do the full games. It's just a personal thing. I get tired and I'm sleepy, and it's whatever. But in this game, we have the San Antonio Commanders, the first place Commanders, at 5-2, hosting the second place Arizona Hotshots. It's the battle for first place. Hotshots win this game, They improved to 5-3. Commanders win this game. They improved to 6-2, and I believe clinch a playoff berth out of it. So that's very interesting. Congratulations. This game is very hard to figure out. Commanders won the game earlier this year, 25-29 in Tempe, or 29-25 in Tempe. With recent performances, the Hotshots seem to be past any ailments that haunted them earlier in that meeting. They had a bunch of injuries. They had a bunch of players out. There was some inconsistency problems going on during that meeting, and the Commanders took advantage and squeaked a win out. The last couple games for these Hotshots have been beating the Apollos, almost impossible thing to do. And then they just absolutely destroyed whoever they played last week, 32-17 against, or 32-15, I believe, against the Fleet. They just destroyed them, made them look bad, and pretty much retook second place with a dominating performance. And I think that's more of the team we see. The Hotshots are more of the team that started off 2-0, upset the Apollos, and then beat down on the Fleet. That's what we got for the 4 teams. I think they're more like their 4 wins than they are the 3 losses. And I think that's the reason why I think they're going to win this game. Also because I don't really like the way that the Hotshots looked, or the Commanders looked in that last game against the Stallions. It looked like they needed a bit of luck to pull that out. And I don't know. I know they beat them, and that's something. And they beat them in Tempe. So this game will be in San Antonio, a little bit harder to win. But something scared me against the way that Commanders team looked against the Stallions, and I'm wondering if if they're starting to get a little tired, a little bit mentally exhausted from this 3 to 4 game winning streak. I think the luck runs out here at home against the Hotshots. I think the Hotshots win a very, very close game, a very, very good game. This is very hard to come to a conclusion. It could go either way. Hotshots win 31-28 and tie them for first place. 31-28, Hotshots beat the Commanders. Let's go over my picks really quick. I said the Express will upset the Apollos 28-24. The Fleet will upset the Stallions 28-20. Or no, hold on. Let me restart. The Express will upset the Apollos 28-24. The Fleet will beat the Stallions 28-20. The Iron will beat the Legends 25-15, and the Hotshots will beat the Commanders 31-28. Let's go over the Week 8 AAF standings really quickly. In the Eastern Division, at first place, we have the Orlando Apollos at 6-1. They have clinched a playoff berth. Second place, the Birmingham Iron at 4-3. In panic mode, in win now mode, because look at what's breathing down their necks. 1 loss and a win by either of these 2 teams. 3-5, 4-4. That's not that much difference. 2-game swing, and there's a different team in second place. And then in third place, we have the Memphis Express at 2-5, but with negative 39 net points. They are ahead of the fourth place Atlanta Legends, who have negative 117 points. Now, ouch, that's a lot of... This team is bad, ladies and gentlemen. They have scored 117 less points than their opponents. The Express is negative 39. That's respectable in some aspects. That means you're losing a lot of close games. Like a lot of close games. It means you're not even losing most games by 10 points. If you look at that, 5 losses, only 39-point difference. That's pretty fucking productive for a third place, for a 2-5 team. Watch out for them if the Iron keep losing. Western Division, San Antonio Commanders in first place, 5-2. Arizona Hotshots 4-3 in second place. The Fleet 3-4 in third place, and the Salt Lake Stallions, the worst team in the West, second worst team in the league. I think actually the worst team in the league, and at 2-5 all by themselves. Let's go to the Week 8 power rankings. These are my personal power rankings. You don't have to worry about, why I picked them. You can just eat a dick if you don't like them. We have at number 8, down 1 spot from number 7 to, that is the Salt Lake Stallions. They're 2-5. They just can't score any points. They can't play. I don't know. They just stink. I don't like them. And then we have down 1 spot to number 7 is the Atlanta Legends. They get blown out when they lose, like a lot. So I don't really like that. Plus they are not standing wise ahead of the Express. So I can't put a team that is lower than another. You know what I mean? The Legends are lower, are in fourth place. The Express are in third. So the Express are in my sixth spot, and the Legends are in my seventh spot. And they go up 2 spots from number 8 after that upset win over the Iron, saving their season. San Diego Fleet stays at number 5 with no change. Iron go down 1 spot to number 4 after losing to the Express in overtime. Very embarrassing. Puts them in win now, panic mode. Will they make the playoffs mode? We'll see. Number 3, Arizona Hotshots. After 2 straight dominating wins, we see them jump up 1 spot to number 3. Couldn't put them any higher based on the 2 guys who are standing alone at 1 and 2. And these 2 teams hold these 2 spots probably by a good mile. At number 2, of course, we had the San Antonio Commanders at 5 and 2. Hard to put them ahead of a team that's only lost 1 time and already has a playoff berth. Should San Antonio win again, go to 6 and 2, the Apollos lose, and the Commanders clinch a playoff berth, guess what? They'll be my new number 1 team. That's what they have to do to dethrone the Apollos right now, who are number 1 by a mile. But San Antonio's creeping in. They only got to win. Apollo's got to lose. Playoff berth's got to be sealed. And we'll see 2 and 1 here flip. I hope you can accept this. 1, 2, 3, 4, then you see them. All right, let's go over to the final part, our Week 8 AAF Pick'em record. We started 3 and 1, 4 and 0, 3 straight weeks of 2 and 2, 1 and 3 for our worst record, and then last week we went 3 and 1, only getting the Express and Iron game wrong. I thought the Express would get blown out. Much like the first game, I was wrong. It happens, whatever. That brings me to 17 and 11. I'm very happy with that record. I mean, it could be a little bit better, but what are you going to do? I don't know. But yeah, that's our Week 8 AAF Pick'em video. As always, we do the picks. We go over the standings. We give our power ranking, and then we go over our Pick'em record. Hey, not doing so bad. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Both those things help to grow the channel out, and I very much appreciate when you do it. Leave a comment down below with what you think of the picks, what your picks are. I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as I can, and we can continue the conversation. I need a drink. And we can continue on with the conversation in the comment section and all that fun stuff. As the video said, I'll be live reacting to the Apollos and Express game and the Commanders and the Hotshots game that'll be on Saturday afternoon and Sunday evening. I hope you tune into both. If not, I'll see you around. Go check out the Johnny Manziel debut I have. 48 minutes into last night's VOD. Thanks for watching, everybody. Week 8, here we are. We're almost to the playoffs. Very interesting times right now in football. And then we got the draft, and then there's baseball. It's a good time to be a sports fan, ladies and gentlemen. Baseball is here to save us till football. College basketball, is that the best part of college basketball? I don't know. Hopefully you're having a good day. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I got a new subscriber and a like out of it. We'll see. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Go Patriots. Have a great retirement, Gronk. I'll be saying it for a week. See you later. Go Patriots. Blah, blah, blah. Peace out.